welcome back to another episode of Power 5 Picks brought to you by Better and Green. We have only one game this weekend, and it is a big game. Not for many, but a lot of the military members. Obviously, I'll be watching it. It's, again, the only game on Saturday, but we have Army versus Navy, one of the most historic matchups in college football. Super excited to watch this game. It's, again, fair warning. It is a very defensive battle. Both teams run the triple option. So probably not a whole lot of passes, but a great tradition. Excited to watch it, and I wish I would be going in person. That's one on my bucket list. One of these years, I want to attend Army Navy. But yeah, last game until I think. Well, I guess we have games next week with bowls starting, but yeah, college football is coming to an end. It's sad, but yeah, at least we have this game to talk about. Ethan, happy to have you here. How you been this week?
Yeah, I've been doing all right. Rough weekend last week in college football. I know on the show it was rough. The bets I actually placed for rough. I went 0-3. So couldn't make it 7 straight winning weeks in college football, but hopefully I'll find a bet in this game. Get back on the winning side. But yeah, been a decent week. NFL was great last weekend. Kind of falling back to earth a little bit. Thursday night football wasn't so good. But yeah, shout out to Navy and Army for kind of bridging the gap here between the regular season, the conference championship week, and the bowl season. Nice for them to give us one game at least this weekend. So looking forward to it. Like you said, always a fun one.
Yeah. Yep. And quickly talking about last week, I actually had a great week. I think my best week on the show. I went 4-1, which brings my record up to 27, 22-1, which now is definitely profitable. You are just below 500, but hopefully we can get that back up come bowl season. But yeah, let's just get into this game. So again, fair warning, it's not traditional, or it is traditional football. It's not SEC, it's not Pac-12, it's not Big 12. It is straight run the ball down your opponent's throat, play really solid defense, and just beat the shit out of each other. And that's why I love this matchup. They just literally beat the shit out of each other. But this is the lowest total, I believe, in the 21st century of this rivalry. It's sitting at 28 points. Army is a 3-point favorite. This game is played at Foxborough Stadium, so the Patriots Stadium, so neutral site. Both teams are 5-6. I'll send it over to you first to get a read on this game.
I said it last week and it didn't go well, but I actually feel pretty good about this game, both side and total. So, yeah, proceed with caution because that gut feeling last week was not good. I like Navy plus the points in this
Ooh.
game. Um, this game is always close. I feel like Navy as a dog finds a way to win this matchup quite often. Um, I think Navy has a better passing offense slightly, and I think their run defense is a little bit better. So I think grabbing the points with Navy is advantageous, especially with such a low total. Although talking about the total, I actually like the game to go over. I know this was obviously all military academy games are basically dead nuts under. Last year, this matchup did go over. I think people are going to see that flood back to the under, thinking there's no way it could go over 2 years in a row. 70% of money I'm seeing is on the under, and I think both teams pass a little bit more than they have in the past. I think this game, I think it's just a little bit too low, 28 points. I think it could push, but my favorite bet in this game is actually the over. Not only that, but you always see the historic runs of like under, 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 and then I just feel like it's always like there's a 2 year stretch where it went
Mhm.
over and then it's back to its underways for like 11 more years. So it just kind of fits that mold for me. Like I said, the public's on the under. Why wouldn't they be after it went over last year? So my favorite bet in this game is actually the over. I think the passing attack is going to push it over. Army, when they do pass, they do throw a lot of interceptions. It could set Navy up with better field position. And again, another reason to like Navy. Um, but yeah, lean on Navy +3. Not sure if I'll get there on the side. I probably will be playing the over, as scary as that is.
Wow. Well, like last week, we are not seeing eye to eye at all.
Fade me.
I am
Take Wyatt's
actually
side.
I actually did a little bit of line shopping, and 3 points is a unanimous line, but I did snag a 2.5, and I did take that on Army. But for the graphic, I'll put my bet on Army at the -3. Army's a weird team. They smoked Air Force, who was ranked at the time 23 in the nation. They beat them 23-3. Again, a service academy. It's a low scoring game, but they beat them by 20 points, which is impressive. And Air Force was off to the best start in program history. I think they started like 8 or 9 wins in a row. I think it was 8 wins in a row. And then Army came around and knocked them off. Army also beat Coastal Carolina last week, who, for those of you that don't follow Group of Five, it is one of the most dominant Group of Five teams in the last 20 years. They've had a down year this year, but they're still bowling, I think. So they beat them, and then they go up and they lose to UMass 21-14. I know you have some connections over at UMass. No disrespect, they're just not a good football team. So losing to UMass is pretty bad. And then they have a couple other wins and losses in there. So just a weird team. Then you go over to Air or Navy. Navy lost Air Force 17-6 in that Service Academy game. So it is important to note that both Army and Navy's games against the Air Force, so other service academies, both went under. So I don't know if people are up into the it's due to go over. It makes it back to equilibrium or whatnot. But yeah, just keep that in mind. And then one game I did circle on Navy was a 10-0 win against Eastern Carolina or East Carolina. East Carolina, not a service academy, not a triple option team, but a very run heavy team. So I kind of think that's almost in the same equation as a service academy game. So looking at this, I think Army is just the better team. They have two better wins. I think Navy, they have a new coach, new team. We saw them get murdered by Notre Dame in week 0. They've obviously improved since then, but I just think Army is a better team. So I'm going to take Army on the spread. And then I'm going to take the under here. I actually got a crappier line. So you may be, so I did get the better line on the spread, but I had a crappier line on the total. I got it at 27.5. It scares me. It scares me a lot, but I just think this game is going to go under. I was actually on the over last year because there were 16 consecutive unders in this matchup before last year, where last year's went over 20-17 with Army winning in overtime. It was actually a great game. But I'm going to go back to the under this year. If you look at the last 8 years, it's 4 out of 8 have hit this low, have gone under the total of 28 points. And it is important to note that 28 is the lowest in this rivalry since I don't know when, a long time since gambling was, yeah, prominent. So if you go back further than that, these two teams were a little different. And they were scoring, 34-7, 17-13, 27-21, 31-17. That was back in the early 2000s. Like that's just not who these teams are anymore. So the more prominent scores, 15-0, 17-10, 14-13, 17-10. So I just think it's going to go back to the under this year. And I have placed both of these. I always hate betting an under this low. It just screwed me last night in the NFL game. I usually don't do it. And usually me and you are swapped on the total here. Usually you are an under guy, especially a low under guy. Usually I am a over guy when it's super low. So interested to see how it's going to work. Not super confident on the total. I do think Army is going to win the game. I just hope it's by a field goal. So, again, excited to watch it. Excited to root for punts. Me and my buddies are going to be in Chicago. Hopefully, we cause a ruckus in the bars cheering for punts. That'll be pretty funny. But yeah, at least we have football on Saturday, which
Yeah.
is important. But yeah, I just rambled on there for quite a while. You got anything to add?
Yeah, you brought up one thing that kinda caught my attention, and I know this is an angle that you kinda opened my eyes up to. Um, so to me, it's another angle for Navy here, but you're gonna get all these casual fans seeing the one game played on Saturday. Everyone's gonna want to bet it because it's college football. And their first thing they're gonna do is go see that Air Force game. Oh, Navy got stomped by Air Force. Army stomped Air Force. Army must be the play here. Um, and I know you've used that angle quite a few times in the past, so I do like that too. For Navy, uh, could also be for the over too. They're probably gonna see both games went under this total, and maybe think it'll go under again. But yeah, we'll see. Like you said, hopefully it's Navy by or Army by 3. Then I'll get the push. You get the win on that 2.5 there. And then one other thing you said that always makes the total live to go over here is overtime is always in play between Army Navy. So if this game goes to overtime, you can probably kiss the under goodbye.
Yeah, and I would say if you're into some crazy bets, some high odd bets, go ahead and test out a correct score in this game. The amount of times these games end 17-10, 17-13. I'm just looking in the last 8 years or 10 years, and 17-13 is hit twice, 17-10 is hit twice, 21-17 is hit 3 times. It's going to be either a couple touchdowns and a field goal for each team. So you can mess around, I guess, with some correct scores. I'm not going to put it as a must bet because the odds are probably in the plus 1,000s. But if you're fruity with a buck and want to win 100, go ahead and test out some correct scores in this game. I think you might be surprised how close you could get. But yeah, that's all I got to add. I will say we do have a full college bowl season coming up. I'm not quite sure. I don't have the number on the top of my head how many bowls there are. I'm not sure if you know, but we will have individual episodes per bowl game. So if you just want the our quick 5 minute analysis of a certain bowl, we will have quick videos of each of those games, which hopefully will be useful for you to get some short content for them and some good insight of each game. But yeah, I'm excited to go through bowl season. Excited to start off or end off the college football regular season with this game. And yeah, we have. If you can't tell, Michigan to count down to probably an ass kicking against Alabama come New Year's Day. But we will have some great bowl content ahead of us. And make sure you do check out bettergreen.com. We have a bunch of blogs over there, sports betting blogs, and make sure you check us out on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I know me and you post our personal plays on Twitter as well, so just make sure you check us out on all socials. But yeah, you have anything to add?
Yeah, not really. I'll just join the bowl conversation. 43 bowl games starting
43.
December 16th. So yeah, just like Wyatt just said, just be on the lookout for those. We are going to be breaking down every game. And like you mentioned too, it's just going to be a short 5 minute video per game. We're going to break all of them up. So if you're looking for some feedback on just one single game, check out Better and Green on YouTube, and we will have that for you.
Yeah, appreciate you guys. Good luck this weekend with all your bets, not just the Army Navy game. But we will see you next week.
You better start listening to the Better and Green podcast. You will not regret it. Trust me, trust me, trust me. And hey, I'm Dean Blandino.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to Better and Green, eh? To Better and Green, eh? To Better and Green, eh? Listen in and cash out. That's what it's all about. Come on, let's make cash now. We always on spot and we cover all spot from the bottom to the top. Hey, shout out to Ethan, shout out to Wyatt, shout out to Ben. Welcome, welcome to our podcast. Better and Green.